Most Canadian small business owners who are sole proprietors think this: every dollar that comes into my business is mine. And I need you to hear this. Just because you can use your name and sell products and call it a business does not mean that all that money is yours. So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. But before we get into that, if we've never met before, my name is Janet Mercurdy, your profitable CFO, and I help Canadian small business owners make sense of their numbers so they can make better decisions about their time, their pay, and their profit. And on this channel, we talk about all the money stuff that most small business owners were never taught. Hey, it's Janet here. Sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to make sure you knew about something that I created just for you. Because I know a lot of small business owners are working really hard and they're making sales, but they still feel like there's never quite enough money left over at the end of every month. So that's why I created a free profit maximizer calculator that helps you see how your business is actually set up financially and whether it's actually working for you or working against you. You can download it from the link below. Now let's get back to the video. So even though you're a sole proprietor does not mean that your business cannot be separated from you. So in this video, we're going to talk about the 3 things you can do to separate yourself from your business so that your business can live for you, not you living for it. So the first thing is we have to change how we speak about your business. One of the first ways to do this is to change your mindset. So how do we do that? Well, we have to start by changing how you talk about your business. So in other words, you need to talk about your business in the third person. I know it might sound strange at first, but this is one of those things that just makes sense once you start doing it, right? Because again, the business is not you, right? So start paying attention to the words you use. It sounds simple, but it actually does matter more than you think. So stop saying stuff like, I am my business, and start saying stuff like, my business does X. My company provides Y. As an example, for myself, as a bookkeeper, I used to say, I'm a bookkeeper, but now I say, I own a bookkeeping firm. My firm, JKM Strategies, solves money problems for Canadian small business owners. That small shift creates separation. And the more you repeat it, the more your brain starts to realize that the business is its own thing and it's an extension of you, not you. So that's interesting when the shift starts to take place because you start pausing more before making decisions and you start asking, what does the business need? Because if you don't start treating your business like a separate entity from you, you're always going to feel like there's never enough money, no matter how much you make. So that's the first thing. The second thing, separate your money immediately. If your business and your personal money are sitting in the same bank account, you got to fix that. Because right now, what's happening is this: money comes in, you see it, the balance goes up, right? And you start making decisions from that number, but there's no structure. There's no stop and wait. Hey, is this all money mine? There's no clear line between business and personal. And here's where this really matters. That money coming into your business, it has responsibilities. It has jobs to do. It has to cover your expenses, your taxes, your pay, and your profit, and not when there's something left over. It has to be part of the structure. When everything's mixed together in one bucket, you lose visibility on what that money is actually supposed to do. But the other side to that most people don't know about is if you ever get reviewed or audited by the government, right? I mean, we don't like to, but it does happen. You may be asked to provide your bank records. I'm not saying you will, but it's a possibility. So if your business and your personal bank accounts are all mixed together, now you're just giving the government everything, right? You're handing over multiple bank accounts, personal spending, all of it. And honestly, it's just creating more questions than there needs to be. And this isn't because you've done anything wrong, well, except mixing your business and your personal, right? But because there's no clean separation. So one simple step here is to open a separate bank account. You have to let that money land there first, because once the money lands in that business bank account, then we get to decide what happens to it. So instead of it disappearing into your life the second it comes in, that leads us to the third thing. Now you're going to give every dollar a job and you're going to pay yourself on purpose. So this is where we move from the idea into actual behavior, because it's one thing to say, not all the money is mine. That's true. But it's another thing to actually act on it. So here's what I want you to start doing instead. Every dollar that comes into your business has a job before you spend it. Not after you spend it, before you spend it. And one of those most important jobs is paying you. But here's where most sole proprietors go sideways. They don't have a pay system. They just take money when they actually need it, right? There's no rhythm. There's no consistency. There's no plan. So what's actually happening is that you're not paying yourself first. Instead, you're just reacting to what's already in the bank account, right? And those are two very different things. So I want you to understand, pay yourself first, react to what's there. Because when we're reactive, it's super unpredictable, right? Nothing ever feels consistent, even when we have money coming in. So instead, what we want to do is, number one, start paying yourself on a schedule. Pick a day. Make it every 2 weeks or once a month, and physically transfer money from your business bank account to your personal bank account. Same day, same rhythm, every single time. And at this point, it doesn't matter the number. It might be small in the beginning, and that's okay, because we're not talking about the amount just yet. Right now, we're just building the habit of my business pays me, so my business can actually start supporting my life, not just keeping me busy. Okay. So it is important to note that as a sole proprietor, you're not allowed to put yourself on payroll. I talk about this in another video, how to pay yourself as a sole proprietor. I'll send a link here. But just know, when you are taking money out of your sole proprietor business, it is an actual owner's draw, which means when you start taking that consistent draw from your business, you'll automatically know that anything that is left in the account is there to fund the business. See how that works? So like paying your tax obligations, so you're not trying to figure it out after the fact. So this habit of paying yourself on a schedule, it's going to do two things automatically. One, it's going to create consistency. And two, it's going to make sure that the cash is where it needs to be when those tax obligations are due. Because once you develop this habit of paying yourself consistently, now you actually have something real to measure. If you're anything like me, when I started my business 11 plus years ago, I had the goal in mind that I wanted to quit my day job and just do my business full time. But the problem at the time, and it's one of those if I knew then what I know now type situation, if I had been paying myself consistently from the business, I would know a lot sooner when I was able to quit my full-time job, right? Because I had something real to measure. Because if you're not creating that consistency, if you have no way of knowing when that can actually work for you, when can you actually leave your day job, right? So if that is your goal, like mine was, then your focus has to be on building consistent revenue and consistent cash flow. And that habit is paying yourself on a schedule. That's what gives you the proof. Because over time, you're going to be able to see, is this business consistently paying me? Is the amount increasing? Is this amount stable enough to rely on? So that's how you start making decisions like, okay, now I can step away from my day job. So it's not being based on a feeling. It's actually based on what your numbers are already showing you. So you're using your evidence, using your data. Because once that habit is in place, now we can start refining things like how much gets set aside for taxes, how much stays in the business, how much you get paid consistently, right? But it has to start here, with structure and with consistency. Because what I see happen all the time is this: money comes in and it feels like relief, right? So you loosen up a bit. Maybe you pay yourself, maybe you cover a few bills, maybe you just breathe for a second, and then an unexpected bill hits. Tax season rolls around, or a slower month shows up, right? And suddenly everything starts feeling tight again. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because the money never had a clear plan when it came in. So you weren't able to identify the patterns because it was always being decided in the moment. And when everything is decided in the moment, it's always going to feel uncertain. That's just the way it is. So if you're a sole proprietor, here's where to start. Number one, change how you talk about your business. Number two, separate your business and your personal money. And number three, give every dollar a job and pay yourself on a schedule. That's how you start creating separation. And that's how your business starts supporting your life, not just keeping you busy. So if this is resonating with you and you're realizing you don't actually have a money system behind how your money moves, that's exactly the type of work I do with my client. We build a structure so you can pay yourself consistently, stay on top of your taxes, and actually know what your business is doing. So that's what I have for you in today's video. If you like what you're hearing, I encourage you to like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And again, my name is Janet Mercredi, your profitable CFO, and I'll catch you in the next video.